That's right, today we're excited to announce our 4th BMW.
And no, it's not a 3 Series.
Hey, this is Bryan. Today we're joined with my wife, Caitlin.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Kies Motorsports. If you like us, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification, and follow us at kiesmotorsports.com.
Good job. So over the last 4 years, as you can imagine, we have received a ton of requests to do videos that were not just the 3 Series. We had requests for 1 Series, 2 Series, 4 Series, 5 Series, you name it, we probably had a request for it. But we had an overwhelming response to do more videos on SUVs. So
we picked up my BMW F15 X5.
So towards the end of last year, we were talking about getting another vehicle for the channel, and we thought, hey, let's take this opportunity to upgrade my wife from her Honda Pilot to an X5. So we first set out to look for an X5 in the local area. We went over to Turnersville BMW, and they pretty much verified for us that if you want an X5, it's no problem. If you want an X5 with a third row, it's more difficult to look. So Adam and Paul over there hooked us up. They were able to get us this one sight unseen from a dealership in New York. So they had it trucked down for us, they had it detailed and cleaned up, and they delivered it to us between Christmas and the end of the year of 2019. So let's go through some of the features of this car. So first off, as you can see, it is one of my favorite colors, which is Imperial Blue. After that, let's talk about the motor. So the motor in this one, we went with the N55. Now the reason that we went with the N55 over the N63 is I know some of the early year N63s had some issues, so I thought because of our knowledge on the N55, if anything was to ever go wrong, we'd be pretty good, and it's super moddable. So being an N55, some of the things that, we're gonna spoil a couple videos here, but this car comes equipped with a plastic charge pipe. We may do an upgraded intake, may do an intercooler, may flash it with boot mode and I'll tell her, and some other things. So we're not gonna reveal everything, but get ready because we have some really cool plans for this, and we've had it for 6 months, so we've had time to actually get the mods. So we have some mods ready to rock and roll. So as soon as we get some time, get ready for some videos on this one. Now, continuing with some brief highlights, this car has a lot of really cool things. So if you look over here, it does have a full NBT Evo complete with CarPlay, and it has a touchscreen. Now, if you may remember, I retrofitted something very similar in my 335, but knowing that it came like that from the factory is amazing. This car is also equipped with things like heated seats in the front and the rear. It also has wireless charging, head-up display. It just has a ton of features. And the kids absolutely love this gigantic panoramic sunroof. Look how big this thing is. It's still going. It's still going. Look at that. Now, one feature that this car has that I wish my F80 M3 has is, as you can see, it has comfort access in the front, but this car has comfort access in the rear too. So this is especially great if you have little kids. As you probably know, we have 3 little kids. You go to get the kids in the car, and you first have to touch up here, you touch back here. It's doable, yes, but it's kind of annoying. But it is super easy to just reach and grab that back door and get it unlocked and get the kids in the car. Now, one of the questions that we get on this car is, you have 3 kids, how well do the car seats fit? And I will say, they fit pretty nice. So we have 2 gigantic car seats and we have 1 booster. So as you can see, everything fits pretty good. Shuts the door and no issue. We actually had an issue with my wife's old Subaru Forester where we couldn't close the door. And my F80 is pretty tight, but we can make it work if we have to, but this is much more convenient. So that's how the kids sit in it, but let's see how an adult fits in it. If you don't have two gigantic car seats, you're gonna fit pretty good. I'm 5'11", and I still have a decent amount of space. There's actually a little button under the seat. You can move it forward and back to give yourself a little bit more leg room. Now, would I want to drive 10 hours next to a car seat? No, but that's not really comfortable in any car. So with that, let's take a look at the third row to see how well an adult fits back there. Now, something that I will mention is that if you are looking for one of these that has a third row, most of them come with air suspension in the rear, not the front. The front have normal springs, but for whatever reason, BMW packaged it in a way where you get air suspension in the rear. Now, when you open the trunk, it is pretty much electronic, and it opens in two parts, which is pretty cool. You have the upper portion and then also this lower tailgate. So it's a pretty good design. Now, if you do have the one that does not have the third row, sometimes there's an option where you can get a spare tire. We just have enough space to put a little ice scraper, and then there's just a couple other tools. This model does not come with any kind of spare. It does come with the run flats, which I'm not really wild about run flats, but you know, for this car, we're probably gonna keep them on. As you can see, the rear seats, they can fold down completely flat, or we have this one up, and then you can take the headrest and you can pop that up. Now, I will say for these are not meant for adults, so let's demonstrate. All right. How am I gonna get out? Oh man. I put my seatbelt on for safety.
Ready for a road trip?
No. My head's hitting the ceiling too. I never tried that. All right, so this is the first time I've tried to sit back here, understandably so. And as an adult, it is wildly uncomfortable. Now, I didn't buy this car to have adults sit in the rear. It's for little kids. One other thing to note is that where some cars have 3 seats in the back, this only has 2. It is pretty crammed back here, so as I mentioned before, it's great for kids, but it's not very good for adults. If you are going to be having multiple adults in the car, you may want to consider an X7, but for what we're trying to do, this fit us quite well. Now, there is a way you can get into the back without climbing through the trunk, but with the car seats bolted in, it kind of blocks it. So that's just another thing. If you do have 3 kids and you want to be able to get to the back row, you may want to consider putting one of those car seats in the back. This car also came equipped with a rear camera. It has PDC, it has some of these running boards. We want to get some crossbars, so that may be a video that's going to be upcoming. And other than that, this is just a great car. It has the valved exhaust, it has the N55, which sounds mean as it is. And when you put it in sport mode, it opens up the valve. And even for an SUV, this thing sounds amazing. So right now my microphone is on me, so I'm going to stand behind the car, not for very long, while Zach starts it, and we're gonna give it just a couple revs so you can hear how it sounds. Now, I don't want to go into a tremendous amount of detail because we have thought about doing a full review video on this car, so we're going to save some of the other features in this car for another day, but it is an absolutely tremendous car, and we can't wait to start letting the mods come. And once again, we wanted to thank Paul and Adam over at BMW Turnersville for helping us find the X5 with that third row. Once again, this is Brian and Caitlin.
Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos on my X5.